you want to know what the Las Vegas housing market looks like right now? Are you still one of those folks hoping that it's going to drop by 30%? Will that even happen? Well, stick around for the real scoop on what's going on in the housing market here in the Las Vegas area. Hoorah! Thanks for checking out the channel. I'm Eric Hudson with Keller Williams Realty here in Las Vegas, and a retired Air Force officer. My team and I get calls every single day, along with texts and emails from people just like you looking to make a move to Las Vegas. And hey, we love it. We work our butts off, days and nights and weekends, to make your move as easy as possible. We put out videos every week teaching you everything you want to know about living, working, and playing in beautiful Sin City, aka Las Vegas. I do hope you take a quick moment to smash that like and subscribe buttons and hit that bell so you'll be the first to know we have new videos out there teaching you everything you need to know about living in Las Vegas. So what I try to do every month is put out the numbers that are actually done by the board, or at least ones that are released by them. A company called Applied Analytics puts these stats out. I have them right here, and I'm going to go over them with you so we can kind of see what the market's doing, and then we're going to get into what kind of homes can you actually get for these prices? Most importantly, what's your payment gonna be like? Now, I'm gonna preface this, I'm gonna say it a few times, I'm not a lender. I'm just putting out data based on average data and such. So I am not a lender. I just wanna make sure you know that. So first of all, let's get into the single family homes, because that's where most people seem to wanna be. Even those who are living in condos and townhomes, a lot of them, their ultimate goal is to be into a single family home. So last month, ending September 30th, there are 30 days in September, not 31. Don't get fooled. We had 1,821 sold. We're not going to get into prices just yet. Let's just go back 1 month. So if we go back end of August, there were 2,009 homes sold. If we go back an entire year, 2,030. So as you can see, fewer homes are being sold right now. And if we go back to 21, 3,209. And if we go all the way back to September of 2020, 3,270 homes being sold. I'm sure you realize that is a huge decrease. I mean, we're almost getting into the category of being only half the homes sold. And let's talk about prices. So the median price for a home this month is staying steady at about $450,000. I don't even want to call it a jump. So we're at $450 for a moment. And then all of a sudden we had a slight decrease to $447, $435 last month. And we're back up to that 450. So things are pretty steady. That was barely a statistical blip there. Okay, let's look at the new homes that came on market. So during this time, 2,448 homes came on market, giving us 4,066 units available for 2.2 months of inventory, which actually is not too bad. If you look exactly 1 year ago, we had 8,121 units on the market for 4 months of inventory. Even then, we were still in a seller's market. And right now, I know there's going to be somebody going like, see, I told you it was 1.9 months last month, which it was. Now it's 2.2. Market's crashing. Hate to be the one to tell you it is not, because a buyer's market is anything over 6 months. This is 1/3 of a buyer's market almost, so it's not crashing. We'll get into why it's not crashing a little bit later, and maybe you'll understand some of these numbers. Now, let's start talking about the condos and townhomes. Unfortunately, they group the condos and townhomes together, and in my opinion, it creates an issue because there's a huge price discrepancy between condos and townhomes. Townhomes don't get to the level of a single family home, but they sell for significantly more than a condo. So we're going to get into that, and I'm going to break it out a little bit later. But right now, just going by the board's numbers, 553 condos and townhomes sold last month compared to 640 last month. And as we keep going back, we compare that to 524, which is actually more than it was September of 22. In other words, when things were getting a little bit dire, when a months of inventory was up. But as we keep going back, like to 21, there were 869 units sold. Let's get into what the median price was. Well, not gonna lie, it's down, but it's almost the same. It's hard to explain. Month of September, it was $270,000. Month of August, it was $287,000. But a year ago, it was $270,000. So they've had a full recovery in their prices. And if you just keep going back, look at this. September of 21, it was $230,000. September of 20, it was $195,500. So someone who is buying a condo / townhome right now over the last 3 years has made a significant amount of money. As far as the units available and what that does to the inventory. So in September, 718 units came on the market, giving us 1,035 units available for 1.9 months of inventory. Compare that against last month where it was 1.5 months of inventory, and the year prior, 3.5 months of inventory. Of course, remember, things were a little bit different back then. And if we go back to 21, you had 628 units available for 0.7 months of inventory. And all the way back to September of 20, the good old days, just as we're entering COVID, 2.1 months of inventory and 1,525 units available. Remember, this is when the housing market was starting to heat up and everybody wanted to buy a house. Interest rates are going down, everything else. So while we're going through this right now, we're going to look at some of the houses that actually sold. So what went into this 450,000? Fortunately for the single family homes, there were actually quite a few that I could pick from that were right at 450 sold. So some of those are flashing through right now. You're just seeing what they look like. Remember, every one of them was 450 on the mark. And you can kind of see what the homes look like, because I'm sure some folks want to see that. Now, here's the one thing that I did notice, and you're going to notice this for all of them. The price sold in general was less than the price that was listed. Yet the homes are disappearing in the weekend like they were back at the height when everything was disappearing, people paying $50,000 over. Nobody's doing that anymore. Sellers, I'm telling you this right now, and you don't want to listen. You overprice the home, you're done. No one's looking at it, you're done. You price it right, you will get multiple offers, and you will get a fair or more than fair market value. Also, I'm going to show up, I believe it's 2 houses here. And these are the houses that are available now. And since we've had such a stagnant market lately, where everything is, month to month, because you can go back for several months, it's actually been pretty close to the same. If you look at that and you see a house that is, right priced, it's time for you to move on it, because if the seller doesn't move quickly, they're going to lose a bunch. As a matter of fact, there's a good chance, again, it's back to that market. If you see a house that's been on the market for, let's say, 60 days, it's time to figure out a price where you can get that house. And that price is going to be below fair market value. I'm afraid to say that to the sellers, but it's the truth. Overprice your house with the theory that I can always come down in price is bad thinking. Right now, when you go and you see those right price houses having 4, 5, 6 offers on them, they don't have 30 like they did before, but they have 4, 5, 6. We're in a good market if you're a seller, because especially now, because the people who are making those offers are more serious. So what I want to do next is, okay, so you're telling me a house is 450. How does that affect me? I'm a first-time buyer. I'm moving to the area. How does it affect me? Well, let's see how the prices are. So what I did is I took some averages. I'm going to tell you what they are here. So what I did is did a down payment of 5%. Now, a lot of people these days are putting down 3%. Believe it or not, you can put down as little as 1%. I know a lender, they give you a grant for the other 2%, an outright grant. So if you're interested in that program, let me know. You can get 1% down. I may make a separate video. No, I'm making a separate video about it. Just need to get to it. And it's about 1% down programs and some other great stuff out there. On with the show. PMI, I'm using 1%. If you're not putting 20% down on a conventional loan, I'm using conventional right now. Here's what's going to happen. You have to pay what's known as PMI, private mortgage insurance, and it is based upon several factors, including how much you put down, your credit, blah, blah. I use 1% because it goes anywhere from roughly 0.5%, 0.46, I believe, up to 1.5%. So I figure most people are going to be in the middle. So let's call it 1%. Interest rates, unfortunately, and I'm going to go into it a little bit later today or this video. Interest rates are about 7.5% for a conventional loan. Taxes, I'm assuming because it's a single family home, it's going to be about $2,000 in taxes. Home insurance, I'm averaging it out to be $1,000. I know some people are going to pay less based on a lot of factors. Some people are going to pay more. I just used $1,000. HOA, put it in there. I know you're going to go like, oh, I don't want to be in an HOA. That's not what this is about. We got what the HOA is, average, and some of the newer homes are going to be higher, but I just use $50. If you take all of those factors, you put them into the mortgage calculator, which is not official because I'm not a lender, that gives you a payment every month of $3,678.73. Who knows? 73 cents could be a fudge. Okay, that's all good and fine. That's conventional mortgage. What if I'm a first-time home buyer and I want to use the FHA program? First of all, FHA program is not really just a first-time buyer program. There are other ways you can use it. Probably bring a lender in. We'll talk about a little bit later on that. On this one, all FHAs have to have a minimum of 3.5% down. That's why sometimes you can actually get a lower down payment with a conventional loan than you can a FHA loan. But if you have it, you're going to do 3.5%. Also, we're not going to talk about it too deep today. If you get your seller to pay the closing costs, they can pay up to 6% for an FHA, which means they can technically pay your down payment and pay your closing costs if you get someone to pay 6%. Now, interest are a little bit lower on the FHA loan. Right now, from the data I'm using, it's 7.3%. Remember, I'm not quoting interest. I'm just using data that's out there. I don't know your particular circumstance. Now, there is a lump sum that you have to pay with FHA loans is 1.75%, which is actually going to drive that loan up to $457,875. That's what you would be borrowing on, or at least you're starting, and you got your 3.5%. So based on 3.5% and all of this stuff, you're going to be taking out a loan of about $442,125. It's not called PMI, it's called MIP. Why not? The government has its own thing. It's 0.55%. The only difference is you will pay that for life. It's like luggage. You got that sucker for life. Your payment is $3,567.05. Wow, 5 cents. So that's going to save you a little bit. At least now you know. If you were to do $450 FHA, that's what the payments be. Now there are loan limits on FHA loans, and guess what? $450 is below that loan limit, so you are completely fine there to get an FHA loan and get that taken care of. Now next is what is dear to my heart, of course, is the VA. VA loan is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And if you're a veteran and someone's trying to talk you out of a VA loan, give me a call because I want to smack them about the head and neck. You do have to pay, unless you're a disabled veteran, what's known as a funding fee. It's kind of similar to the fee we just talked about for an FHA loan. It's 2.15%. There's a bunch of different variations and variances about this. Call if you want to get deeper into it. So for your first time use, it's going to be about $9,675. Interest rates, fortunately, on a VA loan, a little bit lower. They're about 7.2%, making your payment about $3,453.55. So as a thank you for your service, not only do you not have to make a down payment, have a lower monthly payment. Now, this used to be much better, of course. I ain't gonna lie. These interest rates are killing people right now. Now, let's get into that breakdown that I talked about earlier. I said that I was going to talk about the condos and townhomes separately because they are a separate market. I don't know why in the world they put them together. So anyway, breaking it down, last month, 293 sold in Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and Henderson. The median price was $233,000. Now, here's what's interesting. The median list price for these homes was $235,000, which means they sold for an average of $2,000 less than list. But they still have multiple offers. So remember, even if you have multiple offers out there right now, at this day and time, you do not have to pay additional, or at least you should not. The best homes, you may have to, fork a couple of $5,000 over to, but this 30, 50,000, that crap's over. Also, as I'm talking right now, you should be seeing a couple of the ones that have recently sold. You can kind of see what was available out there for you. And what about my payments? Okay, let's do that. Now, I'm only going to cover conventional for the next two, condos and townhomes. Things are going to be a little bit different. So taxes are going to be a little bit lower. So on this one, I'm going to assume $1,200 in taxes, an HOA of $200 a month. Remember, you're going to have HOA and it's going to be higher. That's because, they're caring for more things. Now, your payment for this is going to be $2,082.17. Now let's get into those townhomes. And I want to start off with something that a lot of people don't talk about here in Las Vegas area with townhomes. Some of these townhomes are condos, okay? Now, what do you mean by some of the townhomes are condos? Condo has to do with ownership rights. So you own certain things in a condo. Like in a condo, you only own technically the air within the walls. In a townhome, you own the walls. Well, there was some tax incentives some years back, and some homeowner associations for townhomes registered themselves as condos to take advantage of those taxes. And condos require approval from constituent agencies like the Veterans Administration. Some aren't going to go through this process, and there are ways around this. Give me a call if you're interested in a condo that does not accept VA or FHA, and I can guide you through that. And at least I have people who will guide you through that. Now, a townhome, because of its ownership rights, is considered the same as a single family, which means you can do an FHA or a VA, unless that townhome is a condo. If your realtor doesn't know how to look that up here in the Las Vegas area, I can't really help you working with somebody right now, okay? So if you're signed up with a realtor, I really cannot help, but you can have your realtor call me and I can show them how to search for townhomes and condos and everything. I'm more than glad to. Some realtors from smaller organizations may not have the training to do this. I'm glad to help out, okay? Also, you should be seeing some townhomes coming up here, and let's go into the assumptions. Assumption one, $1,500 in taxes per year. Assumption number two, the HOA is going to be $150. Remember still, you're looking at higher because they're doing more stuff for you. Most condos, the roof is actually covered along with some other things, which means your insurance payments are usually going to be a little bit less. With that, you're looking at an average of $2,860.96. And something I probably should have told you. See, look at this. Should have told you. The median price for a condo was $340,000. Okay, so let's talk interest rates for a while. Now, I had several lenders send me stuff. They love sending real estate agents stuff, hoping that we're going to use them. I've tried to vet them, and if they're not serving you right, please let me know. And they've been vetted out of the business. So this is one lender. I'm not going to mention their name or company. Right now, they're saying this month or this week, conventional, 7.549% compared to last week, 7.434%. VA, 7.216 compared to last week, 7.039. FHA, 7.31 compared to 7.21. So if you look at these interest rates, they're not great. They are the highest interest rates they've been in a generation, and they're actually expected to possibly go up. We don't know if they're going to go up. I'm no crystal ball reader, but it's starting to defy all the experts. People start to think that later this year, we're going to see a little break, and then through 2024, it was going to be magical time. It's going to hit 5%. The market was going to be even crazier than before. People who said I needed to get back down to 2.25%, we're going like, screw that. I want my 5 right now. Well, they're actually saying, I was talking to somebody the other day, and this guy claims he wakes up at 3 in the morning every morning, and he's talking to people all around the country just to see where the rates were. They were telling him they're going to hit 8% I don't want to see it. On top of that, they were going through the numbers and stuff, and they started with 2025, the rest of 2023 and 2025. And the guy went like, wait a minute, what about 2024? And he goes, you can already forget 2024 right now. Y'all hearing me? You can forget 2024 right now. Now, this is one guy. He's got some good info. I don't know how they predicted we were going to recover in 2024. Now they're saying forget 2024. So this leads to a lot of things. One of them, and it's why the prices haven't crashed and are not going to crash. Number one is called the lock-in effect. I've talked about it a couple of times, I believe, and actually I'm pretty sure I did. Someone who bought a house, let's say they bought it in May of 2022, the absolute height of the market, $482,000. Now, remember, that price includes if you did give them $50,000 over, because that's the price you bought it for. That's what goes into the MLS. The house was $430,000. I offered them $450,000, offered them $460,000. That's how it goes. That's the price they paid. You know what their payment is right now? And I'm basing it on 2.75% interest and the rest of the stuff we did before. $2,584.25. If they were to buy that same house right now at the current price of $450,000, their payment would be $3,678. I ain't putting no cents on it because it makes no sense. I believe it was $73. And when you try to figure out why the prices are still high, it's because people are not putting their houses on the market, mainly because of this locked-in effect. You have very few people putting houses on the market. You got the 3 Ds, death, divorce, and diapers. Yep, and you got people who have to move away. That's it. There are very few people who are going, you know what, this house is just so big for us. We're gonna downsize, so we're in a single story. No, they're sticking with it. They're sticking with it. I mean, heck, even if they don't want to go upstairs, they'll make a way. Because you know those chair lifts, they're much cheaper than you think. A lot cheaper. For those of you who have to pay for one. If time comes, the VA will be paying for mine. But I actually priced them one time. It wasn't on purpose. It was accidental. Somebody just bought a house. Their father was going to move in with them. And the VA purchased the father the chairlift system. But father decided not to move here. So she was selling her house and she was going to move to Texas, or she moved to Texas to take care of her father. So now there's a chairlift system. Hadn't been installed by the VA or whoever was going to do it, sitting in the garage. She's like, do you want a chairlift? It's just sitting there and I have nothing to do with it. The VA doesn't want it back. Anyway, I'm getting a chairlift. So these folks are not moving. They're not downsizing. If you see somebody moving into a single story home, it's because they moved here to have a single story home. Any house that I have that's a possibility of being listed right now, that I'm working on right now, is someone moving to be near their grandkids. People aren't just going, my house is too big, I'm just gonna get a single story anymore, which means fewer and fewer houses on the market. But wait a minute, you showed me these figures here. It's only like 1821 sold this month, 2009 last month, a year ago, 2030. So where are these houses at? I'm gonna tell you right now, and this is why the houses aren't crashing. It's the builders. The new builders, the majority of them have caught on to the program and realized that they can take market share. Do you realize that new home sales in Las Vegas are now 42% of the market? And almost 100% of them offer the following: paying your closing costs, buying down your interest to 4.99%. I'm not giving numbers, I'm just saying what they told me. So if you can get 4.99% and someone to pay your closing costs compared to a resale, where are you gonna go? They're expected to possibly be, in 2024, half the market. So you're trying to sell your home, you better come correct. You gotta compete against someone who's buying down interest rates and paying closing costs. One of them I was talking to the other day, they're actually contributing up to 6%, which is the max they can contribute to paying whatever you want. They have it set out, we're gonna pay your closing costs, we're gonna pay you down to 4.99% for VA, 5.875, don't quote me, for anybody else. Guess what? What homeowner's doing that? You gotta run around and go like, well, they'd like $5,000 for you to help them out. Why should I give them $5,000 of my money? The new builders, they realize they got the game and they are killing it right now. By the way, 82% of people who walk into a new home builder are represented by a realtor. If you would like representation, reach out. We'll send someone there. We're gonna help you out as best we can and see if we can squeeze even more out of them, okay? Now here's another effect that you haven't thought about. Investors, and I don't mean these little penny ante flippers who come in and, you know, who couldn't compete during the high times. Remember when I was telling you, you better go sell your house for cash or somebody's gonna give you more than the retail value? I literally had people that would send them cash offers and it's the highest offer in the neighborhood. They go like, it's not enough, I want more, I want more. It's like, well, look at the numbers. I've actually had people go point around the corner, go like, you see the house around the corner? It's selling for X. I'm like, well, the house around the corner is bigger and it has a pool. Your house is smaller and does not. And that's one. And two, they're not gonna get this price. This is a first weekend price where the owner was trying to see if they could get it. Exactly a week later, they lowered the price by over $50,000. But you know, you can kind of read these things. Well, guess who's out there now? They got a new cash buyer. It's called Blackstone. They are buying up everything within reason they can get their hands on. And they're not planning to flip them. They're planning to turn you into a permanent class of renters. So you can buy into it, become a permanent class of renters, or you can buy your own home. And then when prices do go down, I know, I actually had somebody leave a comment in my one of my videos, and I talked about this. This is something that every lender in town is drilling into us. You know, date the rate, marry the house, divorce the payment thing. So the person, I don't know if it's a male or female, I would never tell anyone this. They should just get a payment that's comfortable for them. I'm stopping for a second because I'm thinking about something. I actually have a cash buyer. I'm not gonna get too deep into the person's history or anything. They were planning to buy a house with cash. They have a relative who lives here in town who has means. The person has people. So he goes to run the deal we're gonna put into. He goes to run a deal that we're about to put out there. And one of the relatives' people told him it was stupid to pay cash for a house. Why? Why would you give up all of that cash? You should find a payment you are comfortable with, and it doesn't matter what the interest rate is, and then put down enough of all that cash you got to get the payment that you're comfortable with. You know what that sounds to me like? Used car dealer. And to be honest, that person who left that comment, I actually appreciate them, because that's the most honest thing I've heard from supposedly they're a lender. I've shown that to several lenders and they were shocked and aghast. Then I don't know if I wanted to be more shocked and aghast, or they shocked and aghast, or the fact that person was so honest. In all honesty, you know who you are. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you because every lender is saying what I said in that video. I was just repeating what they said. And I believe it because let's look back. I go back to September of 2020. We're, in the midst of the pandemic. I don't think prices even started to rise here. It stagnated. Even I was just running around with some cash in my pocket. I was thinking about buying a new car, and it's like I couldn't figure out what I wanted. I could go on any car lot I wanted, and a few months later, you know what happened? Couldn't buy a damn car. You could have bought a house for $337,250 at about 3%. Y'all getting me right now? You would have had a payment of about, without the taxes and everything, you would have had a payment of about $1,200. Price is gonna crash. Don't do this. We haven't had any price growth in a year. Let's see. September 2023, $450,000. September 2022, $450,000. September 2021, $406,500. Listen to the words that I'm saying. See if I'm telling the truth. If not, call me out. I mean, you got all these guys on YouTube claiming to be gurus. Last time I checked, there are ones on YouTube who for 2 solid years have been telling you prices are about to drop 30 to 40%. Standing in front of a wall, have prices dropped in 2 years? How much money have those people lost listening to them, wishing that prices are going to drop? They're not. But you get home sellers also who are going to go, well, they're going to have to give me whatever I want. There's a shortage. I heard there's a shortage. There is a shortage. But people are no longer doing that. And the house builders, they done caught up And most of them have started to build, you'll see in another video, spec homes now. They're just slapping these babies up. I don't want to say slapping up, but you know what I'm saying. You can get into a home in 30 days now. Fully paid closing costs and an interest rate buy down, permanent interest rate buy down. So be careful what you're listening to, because some people, I know they have agendas. I know some of the people who've been talking this stuff had a very interesting little thing is they were buying houses for investors. So if I'm buying houses for investors, do I want the houses to be high or low? I convince you that the housing market's about to crash. Do not put an offer in on a house, and now my investor goes and buys it. I ain't working with no investors. I'm just saying that I'm putting out information that I see that is empirical data. I got them all in front of me here because they're rustling and getting on my nerves. Anyway, now I hope you found this information useful this week. And if you look down below, I even got some new books I got for you. They're nice little flip books and everything about buying and selling homes. Just go there. They're free. I hope they're of some value to you because I pay a lot to get my hands on this. A lot. My loss, your gain. I'm hoping it's a gain for both of us. If you love the idea of Las Vegas and what moves to Las Vegas and stays in Las Vegas, we would really love to have you join us here in Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and Henderson. So keep in mind, we're here to help with your relocation or PCS to Las Vegas. For those civilians, PCS is a military relocation, permanent change of station. Give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, or better yet, book directly on my calendar. We are happy to help make your move as smooth as possible here to Las Vegas. And be sure to subscribe below so that you'll be the first to know about all the current market conditions here in Las Vegas. We put out videos every week. The intent is to help you learn everything you need to know about living in Las Vegas, the good, the bad, the ugly of Sin City. So if you would be so kind, shoot us a comment. Let us know if there are any questions you have or any other videos you'd love for me to make. As a matter of fact, some of the videos I have coming out are videos people who left comments below. You can be one of them. So hit that like button. That's what helps the YouTube algorithm put my information out there and content for folks just like you who are looking to make that move to Las Vegas. It helps so much. So all right, that's it for the day, and we'll keep the lights on for you.